Thank you very much. First of all, thank you very much for organizing this. We're really grateful for the Center for Democratic Transition to get everybody together, and I'm really impressed to see Mr. President here, and I fully subscribe to everything you've just said. I'm not an expert on Montenegro, really not, but I'm kind of proud that we have been able to support this effort. Why do we do this? This is what we call enlightened self-interest. The Netherlands, part of Europe, we have invested a lot. We are a small country somewhere in the northwest of Europe. We have invested a lot in European cooperation on the basis of the terrible wars we had. We were part of this peace project, and it has been, I think, extremely successful. Of course, many things went wrong. And now we see in the enlarged European Union there is an area which is still not part of it. And we have an interest in this part, the Western Balkans, being a stable part of Europe. And in our view, the best way would be EU accession. Montenegro has taken impressive steps towards EU accession, and we are trying in our own small way to support Montenegro as much as possible. And that goes from support to direct EU accession relevant issues like improvement in rule of law, but issues like prevention of radicalization are also topics where the EU has a role. It's not part of the EU acquis, but the great thing of the EU is that you're part of a group of countries that all has in some way or other to deal with such issues. As the President pointed out, Montenegro is not the only country that deals with polarization. We see it in Dutch society also. And any of the EU countries has experiences there. And the EU provides a framework to sit together and to discuss best practices. None of us knows the ideal solution. We do not know the exact cause. We know some factors that can contribute, and you mentioned a number of them already. And we have experiences where we booked successes in preventing radicalization and in spotting radicalization in an early stage. And so it's important for us to sit together and to listen. It's important in Montenegro to have all the relevant institutions together, and everybody is responsible for other parts of society or for other issues, but together you can have an overview of the problem. One of the successes of Dutch society has been what we call the polder model. We had many divisions in Dutch society, but the groups sat together, talked, and came to a compromise in the end, which made none of us exactly completely happy, but which was acceptable to all parties. And that has been quite a successful model, and I think this is also the way the EU basically functions. We do not deny the problem. We are able to self-reflect on our previous actions, and we are able to listen, not only have a dialogue, but really listen to other parties in the, that have a stake in the issue, to give all people the feeling that they are stakeholders of society, and then we come to a compromise. So I think that's something valuable. We'd like to share that, and these kind of practices we share by supporting projects in Montenegro. The fact that we published this strategy does not mean that we suddenly saw the light. It meant we found it important to bring together all the experience we had and to formulate the kind of general lessons and the general tools that we have developed. So this strategy is a very integral strategy. It brings together everything from practices in the police forces, practices in the welfare system, and it tries to give guidelines to every institution or even to citizens that are dealing with such issues. one basic lesson, and it's not explicit in the strategy, but I think it's you read it everywhere in all the chapters, and it's very relevant for Montenegro. You have to give everybody the feeling that they are part of society, that they have equal rights to the other participants in society. And this is one of the reasons why we are all the time hammering on the rule of law issues, because it all starts with everybody having the law applied to him or her in the same way, everybody being equal on that level. And Montenegro, in its EU accession process now, has an enormous chance to take over the best practices that the EU has learned over the past so many years. So my first tip, recommendation to the Montenegrin authorities is continue your path towards the EU. Do not stop and think, okay, we have signed off on this or on this law, but implement it and continue reflecting on what you have done and try to make it better all the time. The perfect society doesn't exist, but you can move slowly in that direction. Second thing is, in the Netherlands, one of the strong lessons is that we are pretty good at bringing youth workers, police, the protection agencies, all together and share their views. They all see different parts of society, or they see the young people who are potential victims of radicalization efforts in different ways. The schools see them at a certain point in time of the day. They see them in different roles. They see different things. The police sees them in other times of the day in, again, other roles. One of the great best practices we have is our community policing system. Police being present in neighborhoods not to arrest or to fine people, but police is there to solve problems, to talk to people, to find out what's going on in the neighborhood. And this is an old system, and it has been developed over the years, and we have reaped enormous benefits of that. And what the police hears, they can transfer to the schools. They can transfer that to the youth protection system. This kind of cooperation, this talking to each other, and not one party saying we're going to do this, but constantly developing your system. That is very important if you want to work on prevention of radicalization.